When was your last time in Vegas?
Shoot, it's been a minute. Yeah, we used to have some coaches go out there and a couple nights, and that's about it. But that's been a while though.
More fun question is, what was your first time in Vegas?
Oh, I was a young buck, so I have an uncle that lives out there in that area, and we took a family trip out there, and all I remember is Cirque du Soleil. I'll never forget that. And then that was the first time I've ever been to one of the hibachi restaurants where they do it right in front of you, and so that's about all I remember. But I was probably like third or fourth grade, something like that. Yeah. Sorry, not too exciting.
What was your first time in Vegas, 21 and older?
We'll leave that there.
What you want to talk about, man?
Last week on the fourth down decision to go for it, what makes the 5-yard line your target line in that situation when you're kind of trying to decide where you want to get to go for it on fourth down?
It happened. Each week's a little bit different, but we felt really good about our selection of plays there inside the 5, and I think part of it too is knowing that if we don't end up executing and getting the touchdown, then we put our defense in a pretty good situation and putting some pressure on their offense. It's around this league, backed up situations don't happen a ton for offenses, and a lot of times teams can fold under some of that pressure, just knowing that the back line's right behind you. So that's always a good situation to have your defense in, regardless. So obviously we want to score the points there, but it's a situation that we're okay if we fail.
How did it reset your play calling mind when one guy went backwards as far as he did?
Yeah, no, I mean, any negative play in the red zone is usually a major issue. My experience has been when that happens, you're hard pressed to score touchdowns. So penalties, sacks, obviously a turnover you never want to happen, but negative runs are part of that as well. And the moment any time that happens, second and long, it doesn't matter if you're in the red zone or in the field. We're just looking to get back on track, and I thought the guys did a good job responding.
What's the teaching point on that? Is it, I see you running hard, but you got to go down there, or is it keep running that way and, hope for the best on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done a really good job of taking what's there and lowering his shoulders and going. You don't want to coach playmaking out of running back, that position in particular. They usually have good instincts and a good feel, but yeah, he understands the importance of going forwards and not backwards, particularly that field position. So he'll be just fine.
I have a question for you, big picture about your relationship with Caleb, as you guys have been trying to get to know each other and understand each other on the field and as people. He talked about last month how important conflict has been, and that you guys come to conflict where you see things differently and it even gets kind of heated, but then you work through that and grow from that. How much has that been a factor in the way you guys have come together?
I think that's coaching in general. We're not called to be here to be friends or be cheerleaders. We're here to push, to challenge, to support. There's a number of things that the best coaches in my lives have really imprinted on me, and I picked up whether I was a player or as a fellow coach, just taking it from other guys. And so I really think that's important, and it's not what the player wants to hear all the time. Sometimes it's what he needs to hear for us as a team to succeed, but also for him as an individual to get a little bit better. And you can't shy away from that. I think at this level, the best coaches I've been around, and I think it's an art. They're the demanding ones. That there's a vision for how a play needs to go, or there's a vision for how a fundamental needs to be executed, and you don't waver from that belief, and you make sure we're getting it right. And so, I try the best I can to emulate some of those good ones I've been around in my past, and I think that's probably where I've seen some downfalls of certain coaches is they have been afraid of conflict and telling a player how he sees it. I learned over the last few years that when there's silence, there's usually negativity fills that void and breeds some resentment either way in a relationship. And so if you feel a certain type of way, it doesn't matter if you're the player or you're the coach, you need to bring that out and make sure we're all on the same page. We all have the same goal at the end of the day. And I've seen some relationships go sideways because just the communication aspect wasn't right. And Caleb and I have a great relationship right now. I can't ask for anything better. I think he's wired the right way. I think he's getting better every single day he comes into the building. He's putting in the prep time that's necessary for us as an offense to put points up on the board, and I think we're going to continue to see him head the right direction.
Has there been any, in those exchanges, has it gone the other way at all, where you have kind of come away with something you understand better about the way he plays the game and have a better sense of how to coach him? Or is it pretty much like coach to player, boss to?
I mean, the more time we spend together, particularly in one-on-one settings, I think that's the one thing that I've learned over the years is when you get sit down between two guys, that's where the guard comes down a little bit, and you can really speak the truth, how you see it, and you're not worried about egos, you're not worried about feelings, you're not worried about your personal pride because you got other people in the room that are observing, and so. Yeah, I think he and I have had a number of one-on-ones. We sit down and I get to know him. He gets to know me, how I work, how he works, and um, we're just in the beginning of this too. I think that's the best part of it. Is I feel so strongly about him as a player and the direction he's heading that we're just going to continue to get better. We're going to grow together.
What has been with Theo? We saw Theo get some snaps at the end of the first half when Darnell went out. What did you limited sample size? But what did you see from him in that stretch?
Yeah, we saw a continuation of training camp, which is a player that's going to battle his tail off. He commits to the fundamentals. He plays with low pad level. He comes off the ball. He's willing to strike you. I think as a pass protector, he continues to get better every single day. We see that. Coach Roshar and Kyle DeVan, they're on him. And really, I think he's taken a step in the right direction. I have a lot of confidence in him. If he goes out there and is called upon, he's going to go out there and battle it out.
What's been the biggest challenge to navigate in your relationship with Caleb? Is it trust, confidence, maturity?
There really hasn't been a challenge. We're just two guys that have the same goal right now, and I think a united mission really brings people together, and that's what we have. Not just me and him, but this entire locker room, this coaching staff. I know personality-wise, we don't know each other fully yet. That we've been on a race to figure each other out from spring to training camp, and the chemistry organically is starting to mesh, but overall we're all going the same direction and we all want the same things for each other. And so even though the first two games didn't go the way we wanted, we bounced back the right way. Well, this week we got a whole nother mission, which is to find a way to get our first road win and piggyback on the success we had last week. And so we're all united in that mission, and we're going to do our best to put our best foot forward.
As you've gone through both leading a team as head coach and calling plays on offense, what has it meant with having Declan and the coaches in the booth to guide you through that? What have they done for you so far?
I think we've got a really good system in place as a starting point. My intent was always to make it through these first 4 games once I saw the schedule and saw where the bye week was, and we'll huddle up next week and reassess where can we fine-tune some things and get it even better. But between him and Press Taylor up top, I mean, I've got information coming at me all the time. They can tell me in real time what's going on, who did well, who missed something, what the coverage is, and so I'm able to. I don't find myself on the tablet in between series as much trying to study the pictures. I just rely on them to feed me the story, and then that way I can focus on what's going on in the game.
Do you like the way we find by then? Is that beneficial in that sense of regrouping early on?
Yeah, I've said all along, this is a good thing for us. We're going to be in good shape. You look at it where we're at injury-wise too. I think it's going to be a good opportunity for a few guys to get healthy again and get some reinforcements back. And so you look at it from that aspect. You don't know that going into the season, but I think it's going to time up well. And then for us as a staff, and I think we'll have a good feel after 4 games. Who we are, what we do well, and what we can sink our teeth into, and whether we want to pivot a little bit in certain spots, whether that's personnel driven or schematic, that can get us better going ahead. But once again, I don't want to get ahead of us because that's down the road. Right now, it's all about this game. I can't be more clear on that. I think our guys completely understand. It's all about this game and finding a way to win this week.
What are some of the challenges?
What have you learned so far about coaching Caleb in games? and what works for him in you guys' dynamic and how that might differ from the practice field?
Yeah, game day is completely different than practice. I've always felt that way, and it's really no different. I give him his space. He doesn't need me in his ear all the time. I do nothing but support him, whether it's through the headset communication or on the sideline. I might give him a nugget or two of what direction I plan on calling it coming up. But other than that, I feel good about JT. JT's doing a really nice job just navigating any emotion that goes up or down over the course of the game. And Caleb is too. I think he's staying really steady here for these first 3 weeks, just whether something good's happening or something bad's happening, just staying the same guy and hitting that reset button when he comes to the sideline. So I don't have to do a whole lot on game day. He gets enough from me during the week that on game day, it's a treat for me to go out and see him perform and compete.
What are some of the challenges in balancing? You have Max Crosby, somebody you absolutely have to focus on, but you also don't want to give too much focus to him on that side because you don't want to weaken other aspects of the offense by committing too many players to him.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that gets overlooked a little bit, and I probably went over. I shouldn't say overboard. I didn't go overboard. He's a phenomenal player, and he can wreck a game. But I didn't give enough of their other players credit either because it's a stout group up front now. It's a good unit. We're going to have to play with low pad level. Their linebackers fly around. So we're going to have to be running up front to stay up with them, and then their DBs they'll tackle, which is the first thing that jumps off at the tape, and they get nosy in the run game, and they're pretty sticky in coverage as well. So the whole unit's really good. I think for us to stay away from the negative plays, you always got to account for 98, and beyond that, we're going to have a number of one-on-ones elsewhere that we're counting on guys winning.